Okay, so welcome everyone. My name's Joanne and I'm here today to do a beautiful webinar on the Canadian Rockies by rail. Just waiting for another minute or so until we get some people attending. If you have any questions, please feel free to type them down, type them in, and I will answer those as soon as I can. Just wanting to make sure that everyone can actually hear me. And everyone can see my screen. Okay, so let's start. Okay, so today we're going to talk about the Canadian Rockies and also a few amazing packages that we do, and also about V-Rail and little bits and pieces about V-Rail that you is good for you to know. If there's any questions, please feel free to let me know. And my name's Joanne. Okay, so if you have any questions, feel free to enter them in the question box. We have a flash sale that started yesterday. The flash sale is all about saving lots of money on our packages for a limited time only. So you can save up to $400, $500, or $600 for a package. It's per couple. So if there's two people traveling together, they can have $400, $500, or $600 off. And it's when you upgrade. So our packages are based on economy class, coach class travel on the trains. So if you do upgrade, then you will have that saving. So upgrading to a lower berth would be in the sleeper, same as a cabin, and in prestige classes in that beautiful uh, cabin as well. Okay, so our company works under the Yankee Leisure Group, and we have three brands. We have Amtrak Vacations, Railbookers, and Via Rail. And with both of these, with Amtrak Vacations is your packages for America. Railbookers is for the European market. So we have a lot of packages in Europe. You can see that's a beautiful photo of Switzerland and the Bonita Express. And VRAL is our Canadian packages. Any of these brochures can be ordered online. If you just go to our website, you can just quickly request the brochures as well. Sorry, okay, I'm talking to Ian now. So Ian, you can't see the video. Just one moment, and I'll just find out why it's not working. Hold on a moment. Ian, could you let me know if you can see it now, please? That'd be great. I think maybe, hopefully you can hear me okay. All right, we're just going to continue now. So if there's a, if you're not able to see the video, please let me know, but I think that it should be working now. Okay, so we'll move on. It's not working, wasn't working. Okay, so just one moment. I'm just going to have to pause it just for 1 second and I'll have to come back. Just one moment. Hi everyone, I'm back. Okay, so we had a bit of a problem. I think Ian said he couldn't see the recording, the video, but it's actually working. So hopefully you'll be able to all see it now. But please feel free to ask any questions. And anyway, at the end of the webinar, I'll actually send everything, the recording out to everybody, so you have it as a backup as well. Okay, so let's move on. Okay, so we're Railbookers. Railbookers is a company which books is very it's been around for a while. So we book packages within America, we've got Europe, and we've also got Canada. So we allow you to book 24 months in advance. So we have access to all the rail networks in Europe. We have access to Amtrak vacations in America and Via Rail vacations Via Rail also in Canada, and we package everything up. So with all our packages that are on our website, you'll notice that there is accommodation, there is there's also activities, there's tours, so it's all based on the packages that you see. We do instant quotes, so while you're on hold to us, if the itinerary isn't too big, we can actually quote straight away over the phone, and if it's in a bit more detail, then we can call you back. Our itineraries are all independent itineraries, so they can start any time of the year. They're not escorted. So if you've got itineraries that you've looked on our website and you really like them, but you might want to change or add some dates here and there, extra accommodation, upgrade your accommodation to a 5-star instead of a 4-star, we can do all that for you. And that's how we tailor make the itineraries for you. And we also do a lot of pre and post cruising. So what that means is you might be doing a cruise, might be finishing somewhere like Norway, and you might want to extend after the cruise and do a little rail package after that and do some sightseeing, and we can do all that for you. So yes, with us, you can book us 24 months in advance, which is fantastic. And especially with the cruising market, a lot of cruises are booked quite far in advance. So you can definitely organise your rail from that as well. Now, these are some of the beautiful rail companies that we work with. So Eurostar, Trenitalia, Amtrak, Via Rail, which we're talking about today, the VSOE, which is the Venice Simplon Orient Express, and our German rail companies as well, DB. So we are local. We're based in Australia. We work from Sydney, Sydney office, and so you pay us in Australian dollars. Even though a lot of rail companies, you'll notice if you ever go online, you'll see that they're in their own currency. We convert everything to Australian dollars, and you pay us in AUD. Now, we don't have any credit card fees, which is amazing. So even with American Express, we do not charge any credit card fees, and we don't have any currency fluctuation risks at all either. Itineraries would look something like this. This is part of our European product, is one of our itineraries that we can do in Switzerland. It's a great itinerary. Switzerland is a very mountainous country, so there's a lot of different rail packages you can do. So we do sell the Glacier Express, the Bernina Express. We have the Golden Pass. We can sell the Golden Pass as well, and we do a lot of tours and different activities also in Switzerland. Now, something like this, you can actually you can remove some of the itineraries, sectors on the train as well. You can add accommodation. So basically, combine itineraries as well. So after a Switzerland itinerary, you might want to pop down to Italy, and we can combine itineraries in Italy for you as well. Pre and post cruising, as I was saying before, yes, absolutely. We get quite a lot of this, and passengers who travel maybe to Europe want to do more than just a cruise. They'd like to maybe do an itinerary by rail and spend a few nights in Rome or Munich, Paris after their cruise, which is very easily done. Okay, so the European network looks like this. It's got a lot of different colours because they symbolise a different rail company. None of them talk to each other, but we can actually book each one and put it all together for you as a package with accommodation as well. The Canadian network map. This is the Canadian network map, which is what we're talking about today. So now we'll start talking about a bit of the Canadian packages that we sell. So the Canadian packages, for example, the Canadian is the red line, and that's the train that takes you from Vancouver straight through to Toronto. It's a great way to see the countryside and see all the beautiful different places in Canada, which is makes it so famous. And the other little lines are all the other rail networks that we also can sell, and all of them are actually owned by Via Rail. So good to know that all the rail networks in Canada are owned by Via Rail. Okay, so our first package is called the Ultimate Canada Coast to Coast Eastbound package. This package is a real bucket list itinerary. It's a 17-day itinerary, 11 nights, and it can connect you to all the major cities that are very famous in Canada, and you see all the different. It's quite unique, sorry, when you do this package. It gives you a contrast of Canada as well, and you can see how big Canada is, such a big, large landmass. You can experience an epic rail journey traveling on the East Coast, which is so picturesque as well. Your journey begins in the vibrant, diverse city of Vancouver. So it'll travel from west to east. Then traveling through the Canadian Rockies while being able to discover the incredible mountain towns of Jasper. You also do a side trip down to Banff. And then you go into Canada's largest city, which is Toronto, and you do a full day of Niagara Falls. You do 3 more classic Canadian cities, which is Montreal, Quebec, and then the seaside community of Halifax. Okay, so firstly, we start off in Vancouver. We'll go into this itinerary a bit more in detail, so that way you can see what we do. And we include quite a lot in our itineraries, but not too much to make it a busy itinerary. But you get to see all the important parts of each city, and we give you a lot of leisure time as well. So this is Vancouver, BC. So you get admission, for example, into the Vancouver Lookout, where you can enjoy 360-degree views of Vancouver, known as the most beautiful city in the world. This picture is taken from the world-famous Stanley Park, and you see the Lookout Tower in the background. It's the round Jetsons-like building with the tallest antenna in the picture. It looks quite pink as well, so you can just see it there in front of you. Okay, so after Vancouver, we move on to Jasper in this itinerary. Your clients will arrive there in the late afternoon in Jasper, and you can grab some dinner before exploring the town, and as you then prepare for the following day as well. So the following day, you do explore Jasper National Park on a guided tour, which will take you to scenic waterfalls, deep canyons, crystal clear lakes. It's a good idea to bring binoculars because you can see beautiful animals, including some bald eagles, which are the most common bird found around that park. We move on to Banff. Banff is the following morning, and you'll depart Jasper for a scenic drive over to Banff. So it is a drive. You go along the very famous Fields Parkways with which is amazing. You have amazing and glorious sights there. You enjoy some wildlife, some pristine lakes, breathtaking mountain peaks. You'll also have a chance to visit the Columbia Icefield, and which is one of the largest expanses of ice and snow south of the Arctic Circle. So you step on board the Ice Explorer for an interpretive adventure of the Athabasca Glacier. At the glacier sidewalk, you'll be treated to an unobstructed view on the glass floor observation platform that extends over the Sun-Wapta Valley. Other highlights of your day tour will include the Athabasca Falls, the Peyto Lake, the Bow Lake, the Crowfoot Glacier, Lake Louise, and a hot buffet lunch at the Columbia Icefield Glacier Discovery Centre. At the end of the tour, you'll spend time in Banff, one of the most scenic towns in the Canadian Rockies. You'll check into your hotel and enjoy this charming location, everything this charming location that has to offer. Now, then you jump on the train on Via Rail and you're going across Canada over to Toronto. So in Toronto, so you take the train to Toronto. It's Canada's largest city. This metropolis is not only the most populous urban city in Canada, it is arguably the most cultural, diverse, with a wealth of colourful neighbourhoods such as Yorkville, Cabbagetown, and the Annex. Toronto is also Canada's commercial capital, and the hustle and bustle of business and daily life is everywhere. So after arriving into Toronto, the following day you'll go to Niagara Falls. So just to give you some facts about Niagara Falls, the Niagara Falls were created by glacier activity around 10,000 years ago. At the current rate of erosion, scientists believe that Niagara Falls will be gone in around 50,000 years. So you have plenty of time to get there, but always good to go. But seriously, Niagara Falls are visited by around 30 million people every year. Here's a tip for you. You are almost always guaranteed to see a rainbow if you're on the Canadian side of the falls, which is what we sell. So to capture this beautiful phenomenon, be sure to grab your camera and visit from about noon until the sun sets. So after your day trip to Niagara Falls, you are back at Toronto. The following day, you leave for Montreal. Montreal is the second largest city in Canada. It was the largest city until some time in the 1970s when Toronto took over the title. Although Montreal is one of the world's 5 largest French-speaking cities, and most residents are bilingual and many speak a third language. So when your client visits Montreal, when you visit Montreal, you will we'll talk a bit about food as well, of course. I'm just about to talk about some food. I'm just having a look. So with Montreal, most popular foods and different things you can eat are the smoked meat and something what we call or they call in Canada poutine. So Montreal style smoked meats is a type of kosher style deli type meat. And it's made by salted and cured beef brisket with spices. The smoked meat is prepared similarly to the New York pastrami, but with different seasonings. Poutine is a famous food in Montreal. It consists of French fries topped with cheese curds and gravy. So that sounds amazing. And you'll find that it often is quite popular. Everybody likes to try. You can actually get poutines throughout Canada, but I think when you do go to Montreal, everybody kind of tries it there. But I think poutines may have originated from Quebec. Okay, so now we're going to talk about Quebec. Quebec is a walled city is the only walled city north of Mexico. Something that you can't find all over. You may find all over Europe, but not in North America. So when you include the thought of its narrow, winding cobble streets and stone buildings, it's one of these cities that oozes with charm and old European style of buildings. Eating is one of the many pleasures in Quebec City, and they even have a chocolate museum. So I would suggest definitely trying a chocolate museum. We also recommend to dress warmly. Quebec City has 149 days on average year when the snow is at least 1 inch deep. So after visiting beautiful Quebec City, you're on to Halifax. So Halifax is the capital province of Nova Scotia in Canada. It has a strong connection with the Titanic sinking. There is a permanent Titanic museum at the Maritime Museum of the Atlantic. And also, there's a lot of pubs in Halifax, and there are more pubs per capita than any other city in Canada. Halifax is very famous for its seafood, and you'll find that in abundance. Halifax and the Maritimes showcases Nova Scotia's cultural and very famous for its scenery, coastline, and its beautiful villages. Great scenic drives, including Penny's Grove, which is the beautiful small fishing villages. And also Halifax is the lobster capital of Canada. So that's the itinerary I've just gone through in detail. So it's 11 nights accommodation, 5 nights on board V-Rail. So that's to get you across Canada, and also on the Rockies area there. You get 1 meal included, that's your dinner. Also, one-way V-Rail and economy class. Now, it is economy class for that long period of time when you're traveling across Canada. So we do suggest if you can look into maybe upgrading to a berth, a cabin, or even prestige class. We have that special on at the moment. So it's well worth looking into. The next itinerary I wanted to discuss with you also and to bring to your attention is our shorter itineraries. So our shorter itineraries I wanted to talk about is the Canadian Rockies. So this is an itinerary that starts in Victoria. Starts in Vancouver. You do a day trip down to Victoria. You go up to Jasper, then Banff, a day trip out to Lake Louise, and then it ends in Calgary. So Vancouver, BC, this package starts in Vancouver. It's the fourth largest cruise ship terminal in the world, making this package a very popular package for our cruise people who'd love to go cruising and might be spending or finishing their cruise in Vancouver, and then sometimes they want to do a short side trip after they've finished their cruise. Vancouver is home to Canada's longest pool. It's called the Kitsilano Pool, aka Kits Pool, measuring 451 feet. It is nearly the size of 3 football fields. It's an outdoor heated saltwater pool. It's a major tourist attraction and is open year-round. You can do a hop on and off tour as well while you're in Vancouver, and you can stop at places like Cornwall and Chestnut before going to the Granville Island stop. It's about a 5-block walk. Okay, so the hop on, hop off tour features live commentary. It will also include some of Vancouver's most popular attractions, including Stanley Park, Chinatown, Gastown, Granville Island. You get entrance into the Vancouver Lookout is included also, and which towers over hundreds of feet above over the city and provides a bird's eye view of the city. and it's very similar to the Space Needle in Seattle. So I would recommend that. You can actually see that in the background there on the left. Now, after Vancouver, the following day, we take you out to Victoria. So Victoria, BC, you get it included as a round trip. It's a ferry ride from Vancouver, and that's included. So you can stroll down the charming cobblestone streets of Victoria. Victoria has been named the most romantic city in Canada and one of the top 15 friendliest cities in the world. Perhaps you may also like to visit the Fairmont Empress, renowned for its afternoon tea, or being one of the 1 million visitors this year to the world-renowned Book Gardens, which you can see there. They're quite beautiful. Okay, the next day you'll be going up to Jasper, and so it'll be overnight on Via Rail to get to Jasper, and that will be from Vancouver. So you enjoy a relaxing day on the train and then arrive in Jasper. Jasper is an alpine town in Canada, Canada's Alberta province, and is a commercial centre of Jasper's National Park. So Jasper is frequently sold out with limited supply of accommodation. But with Railbookers, we do have inventory, and we have allocated places you can stay at as well. So in Jasper, you can explore the spectacular treasures of the largest national park in the Canadian Rockies. And during this amazing sightseeing tour, you will see many breathtaking sights, including Medicine Lake, Maligne Lake, and you will stand above the massive walls of the Maligne Canyon for stunning views of rushing waterfalls. The scenery in Jasper is just unbelievable. You also get to go on the Fields Parkway, and you depart from Jasper for a scenic drive out to Banff with sightseeing included. You'll get up and close and personal with two massive glaciers, including an interactive ride on the Ice Explorer, where you can walk on a glacier, so you can see people there walking on the glacier and sample some of the best tasting water in the world. Also included is admission to the Glacier Adventure and Glacier Skywalk. At the Glacier Skywalk, you will enjoy the unobstructed view on a glass floor observation platform extending 30 meters out over the valley. And this is not for the faint-hearted. You can also enjoy a hot buffet lunch at the Columbia Icefield Glacier Discovery Center before arriving in Banff. So, and then we're in Banff. And after a leisurely ride enjoying the wildlife, pristine lakes and breathtaking mountain peaks, you will arrive in Banff. Banff is a resort town in the province of Alberta, located within Banff National Park. Now, Banff is known to be one of the most photographed landscapes in the Canadian Rockies. You can see that photo is just absolutely amazing. Like Jasper, Banff is a town frequently sold out and has limited supply of accommodation, but at Railbookers, we do have inventory allocated, so we can actually make sure that you do get your rooms confirmed on the itinerary and as well as the entire package. So Lake Louise is absolutely beautiful. If one picture describes the beauty of the Canadian Rockies, this is it. Everyone will get a chance to explore and get some great pictures of Lake Louise. You may choose to canoe, hike, view the wildlife, or just relax in the historical Fairmont Chateau Lake Louise. You will also do a tour of Johnson Canyon, another spectacular treasure of the Rockies, and also you'll get a hot buffet lunch is included at the Fairmont Chateau Lake Louise, which you see there in the background. Stunning. Okay, so we then take you over to Calgary, and Calgary is where you'll be finishing off the tour. So take a shuttle transfer from your accommodation in Banff to Calgary. It's the largest city in Alberta, and it's also included in this package. Calgary's got a small town heart, but big city diversions. According to the Forbes.com, Calgary is the cleanest city in the world. Some trivia information for you. The sun shines on average of 2,300 hours a year. It's Canada's sunniest major city, and it has lots of street festivals, nightlife, and all the outdoor attractions you can find, and plenty to do during the last night of your package. So this is our package we just went through. It's a 10-day package from Vancouver, visit to Victoria, a visit to Jasper, visit to Banff, Lake Louise, and then to Calgary. It's an 8-night hotel accommodation with 1 night on board VRail. So it's a 9-night, 10-day. Okay, so we'll move on now. We'll go to our next itinerary, which is over to the East Coast. This one is Ontario, Quebec, and the Canadian Maritimes rail journey. You explore the best of Ontario, Quebec, and the Canadian Maritimes on this rail journey, and your adventure begins in Toronto. So Toronto, we begin exploring Toronto, Canada's largest city and one of the most culturally diverse, and you do this at your leisure. You can use the hop-on, hop-off sightseeing tour, and your guide will point out important attractions and points of interest such as the Royal Ontario Museum, Lawrence Market, Chinatown, and you can get off at any stop that interests you and explore more at your own pace as well. Okay, so then we move on to the next day. We do a day trip out to Niagara Falls. So you enjoy a full day sightseeing, a full-day sightseeing tour of Niagara Falls, Niagara on the lake today. With as much as 6 million cubic feet of water pouring over the edge every minute, it is sure to impress. Highlights of your day include a boat cruise up close to the falls, exploring the caverns behind the falls, and lunch overlooking the falls. You will see the majestic Niagara Falls and witness the beauty from all angles. We then go to Montreal. So we board VRail's Capital Corridor service. That's the train that takes you to Montreal. Spend time getting acquainted with this bustling city. Be sure to take a stroll along the picturesque cobblestone streets of Montreal. A guided sightseeing tour is included, which will take you to the famous attractions such as the hip Place des Arts, Place Jacques Cartier, Notre Dame Basilica, and the Old Montreal. You'll learn about Montreal's blend of French roots, which is evident through its cuisine, language, and historical buildings. And tonight you overnight in Montreal. Quebec City, which is absolutely beautiful. After your arrival, you begin exploring this fascinating destination town for its European feel and French-Canadian history. Dinner tonight is at the classic Quebecois restaurant. Sorry, my French isn't very good. You can take a tour of Quebec City. Your guide will provide some amazing stories and history of the city while riding past these popular historic points of interest such as the Latin Quarter. You'll also go past the Plains of Abraham and the world-famous Chateau Frontenac Hotel and the Citadel. Okay, so the last part of the itinerary is in Halifax. Halifax, after travelling through the Canadian Maritimes and enjoying some coastal views, arrive in Halifax for the evening. Perhaps you'd like to take a stroll along the boardwalk and find some great restaurant for dinner by the water, or purchase some fresh seafood. Enjoy a guided sightseeing tour of one of the most unique and captivating cities. Hear of Halifax's war years and history. Visit the old town clock, St. Paul's Church, City Hall, and the busy port of Victorian Halifax Gardens, and much more. So here's the itinerary in more detail. So 11 days, start at Toronto and we finish at Halifax. It's a 10-night a 10 nights accommodation with one night on board VRail. I'll quickly go through the VRail accommodation. So with VRail accommodation, we can show you here pictures of the observation deck. You can see here. So we have everything from economy to sleeping berths, cabins and prestige class. All packages are in coach class, as I was mentioning before. If you do the Rocky Mountaineer with us, it is in silver leaf. So we do also sell the Rocky Mountaineer. We have upgrades available on VRail packages. There are no showers in any of the berths and cabins, only toilets. Prestige class does have a toilet and shower though. Coach class doesn't include any meals, and all sleeper cabins include meals. This is our economy or coach. So economy or coach is great for passengers who are on a budget. You get complimentary access to a dome car. Food is available for you to purchase from a takeout stand located at the dome car. You can get anything from muffins to sandwiches, soft drinks, beer, wine, chips, etc. And depending on the availability, coach passengers can also have access to the dining car and to purchase hot meals with our onboard chefs, prepared by our onboard chefs. These are our berths. So these are coloured. In the yellow you can see. Berths are the most economical entry into the Sleeper Plus class. Picture on the top right shows the berths during the daytime, and the picture on the left shows the berths at night. There is privacy at night as a heavy curtain encloses the sleeping area separated by the upper and lower berth. You also get freshly prepared meals in the dining car, which are included in the fare, as is access to the several dome cars as well. Restaurants are at the end of the sleeping car, just a few steps from the berth accommodation part. These are cabins for one. You can look at the upper left-hand corner in the yellow. Those are the berths that we have discussed. Cabins for one can be seen here in purple. They have a door that locks from the inside and a covered toilet. Love seat by day with a large window to enjoy passing scenery, as seen in the picture on the right side. They include a sink with running hot and cold drinking water, as well as access to the shower down the hall. The entire space turns into a bed at night, similar to a first-class pod on an airline, as seen in the picture on the lower left. Okay, so now we have cabins for two. They're like a cabin for one, and they feature the door that locks from the inside. Two large chairs during the day and a large window to enjoy scenery from the room. Also includes a private toilet, a vanity, hot and cold drinking water, as well as shower access in the car at the end of the hallway. You get freshly prepared meals by chefs in the dining car, which are included in the fare. Okay, this is the beautiful Prestige class, and it's the ultimate experience in train travel. A spacious cabin, it's 50% larger than our cabin for two and has this leather L-shaped couch by day. So you don't just get a normal seat, you actually get that lounge. Look at the upper left, and there you see the double bed for two by night facing the window. The class includes radiant heated walls and floors in the cabin, as well as a concierge to take care of your needs. This is the only class which gets you the private washroom with a shower inside the cabin. There's also a Prestige lounge pictured on the right, which offers complimentary bar service, snacks and specialty coffees. And you also get activities, for example, wine tasting, interactive talks on local history, geography and culture, which is all part of the Prestige class experience. Our dining car, all meals on board the Canadian are prepared fresh and are ordered off the menu with 4 choices per meal. Vegetarian options are always available and special requests can be made. The menus reflect the location of the train, which is where it's travelling through. For example, you may find seafood on the menu as we approach the Pacific coast, beef and lamb in the prairies and fish from the Great Lakes of northern Ontario. Meals are included for all Sleeper Plus and Prestige passengers. So how to book us? You can call 1300 938 534. Our staff will answer your call within about 3 seconds. Or you can visit our website and check our packages. You can also order our brochures. So you can book us up to 24 months in advance. So once your package is confirmed, locked in, you pay a deposit, and then it's all confirmed. So as far as 24 months in advance. Why you will love Railbookers? The 24 months in advance, of course. We do instant quotes. We are rail experts. We offer independent rail journeys, which makes it easy for you to tailor make a package to your needs and budget. And also the pre and post cruising options, which are very, very popular. Don't forget the flash sale. So any upgrade to our sleeper cabins will get a beautiful discount, either 400, 500 or 600. Give us a chance. Give us a quote. If you have any questions, please feel free to let me know. And don't forget, if you call us, you get through within 3 seconds. Okay, so I have a question here just regarding our deposit. Thank you so much for the question, Amanda, on the deposit. Wanting to let you know, yes, a deposit of $250 is required at time of confirmation. So once we've made the booking for you, we've sent you the quote. If you're happy to take it and go ahead, the deposit of $250 is per person, so $500 per couple. Okay, I have another question regarding accommodation. Yes, accommodation, even though in our packages we may select different properties which are maybe your 3 to 4 star, you can definitely upgrade to a 5-star hotel. We do also have hotels that are based either in the city or close to the railway lines, where your train leaves from, but please let us know what you prefer. You might prefer to arrive in the city by train and then jump in a taxi and go to your hotel, or you might want to just stay somewhere within walking distance to the train station. Either one is fine. Okay, that's it from me. Thank you so much for listening. And if you have any questions, please feel free to call. We're here Monday to Friday. We're here from 9 till 6 p.m. every day. Thank you for calling. Thank you for listening, sorry, and have a lovely day.